Marla, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting times. We have November 20th, I believe, that Merry Gentleman on Netflix. How excited are
Yep.
you about this?
I am honestly so excited for a million different reasons. One, it's bringing back Chad Michael Murray into the
Yeah.
forefront, which we need him with his shirt off more. Um, Also, I wrote it, which is really exciting. It's like the first I've written other things, but this is the first one I think people are actually maybe possibly gonna see, which is exciting. And then yeah, and I'm also in it. So it has like a lot of really exciting things going on.
Yeah. What inspired you to write a story, centered around a Christmas theme, all male review, and did you take any personal experiences or any favorite holiday memories? Like, how did this happen?
Well, the producer, Jeff Shank, is somebody that I've worked with a bunch, and he called me one day and he was like, I have this idea for a Christmas movie. Let me know if you're interested in possibly taking a stab at it to write it. And I instantly loved it because anytime there's like a different take on Christmas or anything that we know, we're very familiar with, and
Mm,
taking it and making it something new and exciting, sign me up. I love that.
right. And what's great about it too is, like this, especially this time of the year, you have like there's a new Christmas movie dropping almost every night on Hallmark, and then we have
Yeah.
Netflix and everything, and like people are tuning into these movies. They're watching them.
I mean, honestly, there's a formula that goes with these movies that make people really want to tune in and watch them because it's comforting, and especially
Yeah.
if you're somebody who loves Christmas, it's just it's a good go-to to have. I mean,
Mm.
people watch them, as you know, in July and
Yeah.
August. They're just like
Yeah.
they're not soon enough for them.
Mm. I enjoy Christmas. I have two young kids. I have a 9-year-old and
Aw.
a 7-year-old. So, for me, I'm still like a kid waking up in the morning just to see their reaction and stuff.
It's my favorite. I love it so much. And I mean, right when it starts to get like slight chill in the air in LA, I'm like, let's go. Let's get the hot chocolate
Right.
and the traditional stuff. I just love it all.
Mm. As both the writer and a cast member of this film, like, how did you do your dual role influence you, the way you approached you for your character? Also, we see you as Maria in this. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. I never, when I was writing it, there wasn't a part of me that was like, and I'll play Marie. It just
Yeah.
kind of came about that they asked me if I wanted to play Marie. And I then realized I literally wrote this part for myself because
Mm.
her voice is similar to mine. And, I was really excited to be able to do that. But as far as like, switching hats, the writing was definitely done by the time we started shooting. So I was able to just put that all aside and let the director Peter Sullivan put his own like creative touch on something that I had worked on, which was really cool to witness. Yeah.
So, like, the big theme of this is also going back home. Like, what do you hope the audience takes away from that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, with all of these movies, we want to have that like sense of family and
Yeah.
connection. And, there's so many things in the world that we get caught up in that I think it's really easy to forget about family traditions or where you came from. So I think that's always a good message.
Mm. How was the dynamic on set between Britt and Chad?
I mean, the dynamic was great. I feel like anytime you are on a new job, you're like, is everybody being cool? Are we all going to get along or whatever? But the guys had been rehearsing their dancing for a couple of weeks. So they
Mm.
were really well bonded and got along so well. And then Britt, I have a couple of mutual friends in common with her. So we bonded over that instantly. And she's just such a doll, like the best. And Chad was amazing. My daughter actually is a huge fan of his. So I brought her to set one day and he couldn't have been kinder to her and like
Mm.
took pictures. I mean, she like barely could speak. She was so starstruck and he, engaged her and was very sweet. And yeah, I mean, everyone was great.
What was the audition process like? What were you looking for? Did you have did you get Chad a phone call, or did you have this part like written for him? Like, what was that all about?
Pretty soon after the movie was attached at Netflix, they said, we're thinking about Sean Michael Murray. And I was like, yeah,
Oh, wow.
great. Like I fully support that. I agree with that. That's a great idea.
Mm. Same thing with Brett, I assume. Britt, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember how the Brit conversation, how she came. I think maybe they might have the same agent. And so they pitched
Mm.
Brit. And I've always been such a fan of hers. I think she's so insanely talented.
Mm. As one of the writers, any challenges like balancing comedy and the heartfelt aspects of the story?
I would say the hardest part about this one is I tend to err on the side of like, you know, not edgy, but just trying
Mm,
to push the envelope with certain things. And with a Netflix audience or anybody who's liking a Christmas movie, I think you just
yeah,
have to be very careful with, that gray area of, making it too scandalous. It has to be appropriate for like younger kids, like your kids could
yeah.
watch it, and older people, like everybody needs to relate to it. So I think that was like really fun trying to find that perfect balance.
Mm. How did you guys go about creating like the performances and like the routines for like, especially for like all male review parts?
Yeah. So when I was writing it, I can only speak from my experience. I have a really, really good friend of mine. Her name's Natalie Hill Jensen.
Okay.
She was on Broadway forever. And so I would have the routine in my head, but I
Yeah.
didn't know how to write it out, because I'm certainly not a dancer on any level. So I would Marco Polo her, we talk on Marco Polo all the time because she doesn't live in LA. And I would dance it out for her and say, okay, now what do I call this? Like, how do I write this out? And she would
Mm.
tell me. So I basically, was a imposer, a complete imposter, a dancer.
Yeah. How about Marie as the character that we see you as? Any parts of yourself in her, or like how did you like approach playing this character?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she loves Christmas. I love Christmas. She just wants her sister to find love. I think we can all feel like that about our
Mm,
siblings and people that we love. She has a dog. I have a dog. She loves her. She takes her little
yeah.
dog with her everywhere. She was a really easy character to, sometimes you get characters that you don't necessarily like. She was very likable and fun.
Yeah. Mm. Any favorite memories or behind the scene moments filming this that you can share with us?
Gosh, I mean, I would say it was when I brought my daughter to set. It was
Yeah.
so meaningful because Chad is just the most professional heartthrob you will ever meet. He was
Mm,
everything you wanted him to be. And like I said, my daughter was so starstruck and really unlike her because she has a pretty, outgoing personality, and he was
mm,
engaging, so what are your plans this summer? And what have you seen, of mine that you like? And he just was really great. He made her day and she still
mm,
talks about it. So that meant a lot to me.
mm. So you love Christmas, you love this movie. Can we see you in the future doing more of these type of movies? Are you already like thinking about an idea to write?
Yeah, I think I'm always thinking of ideas. And, we all know that Christmas isn't going anywhere. Everybody loves it.
Right.
And it's one thing that we can all agree on. If even if we don't all agree on who the president should be, we can agree that we love Christmas
Mm,
and this time of year. So
right.
yeah, keep going for sure.
That's right. What do you hope the viewers take out of this film when they watch it? What do you hope they get out of this?
I think it'll be, somebody told me I was doing God's work by removing Chad Michael Murray's shirt. And, I couldn't agree more. I think that it'll be a perfect movie for everybody to watch because,
Mm,
your mom will like it, your kids will like it, you will like it. It's fun.
mm. I mentioned before we went on the air, we're huge about the 90s and everything. Do you think like your early work helped you shape your career and what you're doing now as a writer
I
and an actor?
I do. I mean, the early stuff is really funny because I think a question I get asked a lot is like, why were you always the mean girl?
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer for that, aside from the fact that I think my face just at rest isn't exactly like friendly. How some people
Mm,
just have like a friendly face. I don't know if I have that. Um, but yeah, I do because I feel like people, like you said at the top of our conversation before we were recording, you said, everybody loves the 90s and everybody loves
mm.
talking about the 90s. So I actually feel like it's special. It's like a special time to come
Mm.
up in.
How does it feel connecting with fans? A fan as myself from the 90s too. Like, how does it feel like connecting with those fans?
I love it, because
Yeah.
everybody has like that one thing that they love. Somebody will come up to me and say, I was a huge Full House fan, or
Yeah.
I loved, Party of Five, or Dude, Where's My Car? It's Sugar and Spice. Like, there's always
Yeah.
like one thing that really resonates with them. So that's always really fun to kind of have those conversations with people
Mm.
about what that thing was for them.
I was telling my daughter because she's been watching Fuller House, but then she's watching a little bit of Full House too. Like, I'm talking to Gia later. She's like, that's pretty great.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's funny. Does she like Full House or has she not really?
She watches Full House too, but she's more of like she watches Fuller House. But I try to get her to watch the old stuff too all the
Same.
time.
I did the exact same thing with my daughters, and they just kept going back to Fuller House.
Yeah, it's probably because it's a newer thing for them. That's all.
Right. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
looks newer. Like I think the other
Right.
show like probably looks dated to them.
Yeah. Any plans for us to see you at a 90s con? That's being pretty big now.
People always always ask me that. I've never been invited. So I mean, it could be a fun thing to do, but I'm in the wrong, social club, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we got to try to push you to get you on. I'll email them. I've been in contact with them before.
Oh, okay. How fun. Yeah,
There,
no, I've never,
there you
and
go.
I feel like people ask me all the time and I've just never been a part of it.
Amazing. Marla, how can the viewers now, listeners, find you on social media, keep up with you? I know you've been posting about this, you've been posting about everything you've been doing lately.
Yeah, just Instagram, Marla Sokoloff, and TikTok. I think I'm Marla Sok. I sometimes post on there. Generally, if I do, my daughter has edited it and told me what to do because I still don't understand TikTok. But yeah, those are my main platforms that you can find me.
Amazing. Marla, thank you for giving a few minutes today. Let's get you back on future projects. I enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you. Have a great day.